The demo installer is currently installed on this computer. It has a service tier, it has a RoleTailored client and everything. So if I look under services, see down here I have my Microsoft Dynamics NAV server, and I can take a look at the properties and see it has a service name, it has a display name and things like that one. So the first thing to do is to take a copy of the executable path in here. So I'll go ahead and take a copy of that current install file in here. And I'll just rename it to recording. Yes. You can create some command line that will add this one directly, but a better way of doing it is actually put it in a bat file, then you have a way of reusing it, but you can also make corrections if you made a mistake. So I want to use the service creator and I want to use the create command, and the first thing I want to do is give it a name, the service, and this one should be recording, so it's the same as the other one. Then I need to specify what program is actually going to execute, and my bin path in here. I can hold down shift and right click, and then I can actually say copy as path, and then I paste that in here. And then I need a display name. That's a nice name that is actually going to have, and I'm going to use the same as I have in here for the second part down here. And then I'll just call it recording. Then it needs to have a few parameters added, so I want it to start it up automatically, and I want the type to be like own in here. There's also possible to add dependencies and things like that one, but I don't want to do that one in here. So to see the result, you can add the pause line down here, and then I'm going to save it as a bat file. So I can just save it in my temp folder. So I saved my new file in here. So the one thing to execute that one, you can right click on it and then actually select that you want to run it as a administrator in here. So if you run it as a normal user, it actually won't work, so you need to run it as an administrator. So in this time, say I created the service successfully and it's just waiting for a key down here. So if I now go to my list of services, I can refresh them in here, and now I have my new server in here. This one has a little different settings than the other one. It's running as local system, so I need to go in and change the properties on it and say it should log in, and it should be network service. And just blank the password when you're using these accounts in here, and I'll click OK. So now it's running as network service, and I can go ahead and start it. There's one thing more before I start it I have to do, and that's actually to change the custom settings file in here, because if I look at it right now, there's some settings in the other one to actually connect in here. And the best way of doing that one is to again do it with Notepad, but you need to run Notepad as an administrator, because else you won't be able to save the file in the program files location where it's located at. So then I can run Notepad, I can go open it, and I want to look at all files, and it's my custom settings file up here. And I have a couple values down here. This one is my database server name, database instance, my database name, and down here is actually what my server instance is. And I'll just add recording down here. And then since I didn't use TCP/IP port sharing, I need to use different port numbers. So I will use 48 and 49 if I decided to install a web service at one point. So this one is all I have to do. I can now go save that one, and my service should now be ready to start. So if I go in here and start the service, it's now started. If I want to switch my RoleTailored client to use that one, I'll have to go server, select server, and it was port number 48, and it was called recording out here. And then I can hit tab. It's now connecting. I can see my Kronos International down here, and I'll go ahead and click OK. So now I'm connected through the new service tier that I actually have in here.